The child of prophecy himself, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto is one of the most primary members of the big three and most battle shonen in general, and is always put in the question of how strong he truly is. So let's answer the question, how strong is the 7th Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki? Now, I've already gone over KCM2 Naruto War Scales in a previous video, so I recommend you go watch it. But continuing off, a base 6-path stage mode Naruto was able to bully a Jubi Madara with just one Rinnegan. And Madara's most notable feat in the states when he seemingly grows the God Tree roots across the whole world. With this feat being placed or calculated at upwards of large planetary, and this level of power can be consistent as he's stated to be close or approaching Hagoromo's powers before he even gets to the God Tree and the second Rinnegan amp. This is important because Hagoromo, even before absorbing the 10 Tails and became his Jinchuriki, was able to create the moon via sealing Kaguya, with the most atrocious low balls getting this feat up to large planetary easily, further showing the consistency. The one actually scaling using the lower and middle ends, not trying to drastically lowball this feat into oblivion. It gets a dwarf star closer to small star level, and again this Madara would scale to this easily, and in that 6-path stage mode, base Naruto was able to absolutely bully him. But when you introduce characters of the likes of Kaguya and Momoshiki, the scaling goes from a 1 to an 11. There are a few interpretations on these guys and the feats they perform, but I need to go over why they scale to their specific feats I'm about to list. Now, Kaguyas Realms has been a contentious topic in the community for years, but it mostly comes down to whether her or Naruto scales to it. Now, there are a few ways to prove that Naruto scales to her realms, one being the expansive True-Seeking Orb. Not only can Kaguya just chill inside it and leave without suffering no damage, and then a rage jump, Naruto is not only able to cut her arm off, but is able to give her multiple wounds with his Sage Art attacks. And if you say she just resists her own jutsu, that's fine, but then you run into the argument that Naruto can produce an even more potent chakra than even she can resist. Which, by the way, this was going to destroy the entire time space of her realm. And Kaguya herself was legit producing enough chakra to grow the True-Seeking Orb, so it would do that. But even if you disregard this for some reason, in the events of early Boruto, the downplay becomes irrelevant. As in the battle between Momoshiki, Naruto and Sasuke performed the Majestic Attire Susanoo. And in the bonus ninjutsu directory, it states that the Majestic Attire Susanoo wasn't just the strongest offensive and defensive, but the strongest jutsu to date. Which the expansive True-Seeking Orb is a jutsu, and the Majestic Attire Susanoo's power is not in hacks but in raw defense and attacking power, meaning they would be more potent than the expansive True-Seeking Orb. Mind you, this was just Sasuke plus Naruto, meaning they would have half the power to do this. More importantly, this Naruto and Sasuke were heavily nerfed, as Naruto was only at half his power while Sasuke was heavily drained from using space-time ninjutsu. So ironically, Naruto by himself would be this strong, Sasuke respectively. So for the actual scale of Kaguyas Realms, it is depicted to have many stars in her realms. Even in the official OVA of Boruto, we blatantly see a star just chilling in the background, as well as her realms contain night and day cycles, just further showing that these realms contain said celestial bodies. And when calculating said feed being calculated upwards of solar system level, however, there is a higher end. With the introduction of Momoshiki, we were introduced to his dimension, in which it stated that he created it. Just based off the visuals, we say it contains many planets, stars, and even nebulas. Just at first glance, this would be a multi-solar system dimension, but within closer inspection, we see that it also contains a redshift nebula. In which a redshift nebula shows the existence of not only galaxies, but as well as a universe, an expanding one at that. But even without that, it's been stated that this is a parallel dimension or even a parallel universe in outside sources to the Naruto universe, in which again it contains many stars, nebulas, and even galaxies, even at a point being stated that it's considered boundless. Now if we take this hyper literally, boundless means to have no limits and a synonym in reference to infinity. As well as the context that things inside Naruto have existed for quote an infinite amount of time, and with the aforementioned expanding universe provided from Momoshiki's dimension, in which it being parallel to Naruto's, this could mean that the Naruto universe has been expanding for an infinite amount of time or make it an infinite sized universe. Though I understand the speculation of this argument, but I think it's something worth mentioning and is viable. But for the real war followed feat, again it comes from the light novel, in which it stated that not just Momoshiki's dimension, but also Kaguya's was a hyperspace. Now the kanji being used is Akukan, now which yes does both mean hyperspace and subspace, while mostly meaning hyperspace, so we need to look inside the context of said dimensions. For one, it doesn't fit the definition of a subspace as it's not another space located inside another said space. It more fits the definition of a hyperspace as hyperspace is used for means of travel, for an example, and the only ways to get to these dimensions is again used for ways of travel. As well as we already have an already existent subspace inside Naruto, as when using transportation or teleportation jutsu, you are transported inside a subspace to get to your point, which almost fits the definition of a subspace to a T, making the dimensions most accurately represented as the definition for the hyperspace. And hyperspaces are higher dimensional in nature or 4D, meaning characters who scale to Momoshiki as he created his own dimension and was draining it simultaneously, or even Kaguya with a pre-established scaling line, she would also be 4D. So essentially you have Naruto at Universal Plus, and if you think Momoshiki's dimension is actually infinite, it would be an infinite 4th dimensional structure or potentially multiversal plus attack potency. In the past, I've gone over some lower Naruto characters in the war arc and how they far surpassed the speed of light. But rather than going over how many multiple times they've surpassed that from going from character upon that character stronger than that one, I'm instead gonna be going over the single most impressive speed feat in all of Naruto. As we know by now, Momoshiki created his dimension, and as we've already established, it's universal in size. This is impressive because while they were fighting, it was stated that he was also draining it and reaching beyond it, meaning he can drain and reach his entire chakra between and even beyond a universal distance within a short time frame. If we just assume it took the entire duration of their fight, which we see in the anime took around 4 minutes and 21 seconds, Momoshiki would be able to drain or go at speeds over 11 million times the speed of light. And this is something impressive about this, is the fact that a base nerf Naruto could react and somewhat fight this Momoshiki, meaning just a base Naruto would be in these speeds, and in his strongest he would completely and utterly surpass these levels of speeds. And Naruto's most notable abilities are his multi-shadow clone jutsu, in which he creates clones to help him fight. At his lowest, he can create upwards of 1,000 clones, or he can make as many as there are leaves on a tree, which average trees can range upwards of 200,000. He as well has increased range with Sage Mode, can negate durability via attacking cells with Rasen Shuriken, has soul manipulation as he can see and interact with his own soul via grabbing it, and also resistance as he could resist it being stolen. Has high level sensory and cosmic awareness as well as non-physical interaction, as he can see and sense and interact with Madara's limbo clones, which are stated to not only be completely invisible but can be interacted with normally as they are beings that reside in an adjacent dimension. Can even grab onto Kaguyas Realms themselves. And lastly, he has resistance to power nullification as well as existence erasure, as he can interact and kick truth-seeking orbs, which are stated to not only negate all jutsu, but can permanently damage and kill Edo Tenseis, even right down to the soul. I truly hope this video can serve as a guide to the many levels of Naruto and his strength and why he shouldn't be slept on. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, it truly helps. And be prepared for my 3K special as it's upcoming very soon. And that's all, y'all.